You as well. This is such a natural actor, instinct that I hope I don't mess it up. Do all actors get this feeling? Do you ever get this?
No, I'm not confident at all.
Okay.
So we just try to figure it out that how to do it. We have interaction with our directors. We get to know each other better.
Right.
So that's how it happens.
Shahid, for every actor to what to do first on OTT.
In the first 10 years of my career, I used to think a lot.
Okay.
Then after that, I decided that there's no point. Just
Right.
go with your instinct, do what you enjoy.
People have enjoyed all your roles. What kind of a cop is he this time?
He is an emotional guy.
Okay.
He's handling Farzi, but he's not fuzzy.
I was just probably lucky to have found this genre, this character in Farzi.
This concept was actually we had a story script idea for a feature film.
I always say not to convert a feature film into a series. It's not a great idea to do it. That's not how The Family Man was made.
I loved what they did in Family Man 1 and 2.
Yeah.
So I was like, man, Manoj sir was so amazing. I think every filmmaker is unique in their own way, and they have a very like he said, you don't feel like you're working with two different minds. I felt like I'm working with two different minds that are in sync.
Right. Guys, thank you so much for your time. Just watched your trailer and walked in, thoroughly enjoyed it. And by the time I think this interview comes out, everybody would have seen it. Really, really something different and really something that I'm sure people will enjoy as well. So best of luck to all of you for that.
Thank you so much.
Right. So I'll ask you first that, when Raj and DK want to make something, what is their narration like? Is it a narration? Is it a meeting? What is that first meeting like?
It is a meeting combination.
Okay.
It happened, I think, very short narration, but I liked the idea, so I said okay.
Right.
It was also during pandemic, so it happened on Zoom.
On Zoom, okay. Yeah. Shahid, for every actor to what to do first on OTT is such a decision. Was that a decision that was on your mind that, how should I come? And this is a place where people enjoy content. They've enjoyed movies that they did enjoy in the theaters as well. So this is a set audience. Was that pressure on you ever?
No, I mean, I never think so. Like in the first 10 years of my career, I used to think a lot.
Okay.
Then after that, I decided that there's no point. Just go with your instinct, do what you enjoy.
Right.
Don't take yourself so seriously.
Right.
It's okay to make mistakes.
Yeah.
You won't get everything right. And I had them who had already figured out what people like to watch on OTT in terms of they had honed their craft and they had, I had enjoyed their content. Then obviously it comes down to what is it that they're offering me, whether I'm instinctively getting excited or not.
Right.
And the entire idea, I'm always excited by something that's not been done before, that's fresh, that's scary, like, there's no barometer to go back, there's no reference point to go back and say, aisa bana lete hain, waisa bana lete hain,
Exactly,
right? But that's where originality is, and that's where you can be your best, because I think when you're at risk, when you're facing something which has an element of risk attached to it, I think that's when you're your best.
Right.
When you're comfortable, you're complacent.
Right.
So I felt that the subject had that freshness and originality to it.
Right.
And I felt that they had the craft to be able to make it in the best possible way. And the role that they were offering to me of Sunny was very easily relatable for me, because he's an artist off the street, wanted to tell everybody how good he is and how good his art is, and nobody is listening. So I could relate to that when I was 21 years old and wanting to be an actor, and nobody was interested. So I know what that angst feels like.
Right.
Very relatable character. Like I said, off the streets, very relatable. I have been that guy at one point in my life. So it was actually something that just felt right, and I didn't really think, will people want to watch it? I was like, do I want to do this?
Right.
And if I do it well, I'm sure people will want to watch it. That's usually how it goes for me.
Right. When you say you can relate to this guy, this guy is obviously like, from the trailer we can see he has the fire, he wants to make it. What part do you relate to?
All of it.
All of it.
See, how you go about fulfilling your desires, how you go about chasing your ambitions, everybody has a different choice, but the feelings are the same. Then you implement it in a different way.
Right.
So I can totally connect with the feeling.
Nice. Right. Same question to you as well. What to do on OTT is a question I ask most actors, and I get such different and varied answers. What is your thing? For most actors, again, it's a no-brainer to say yes to Raj and DK.
Exactly. So the answer is in your question. It's a no-brainer. When it came to them, it was obviously I think it was a great opportunity for me as well to be a part of a show that's being helmed by them. And I think I'm also quite a risk taker in general. Like, I would just want to play a variety of roles. I think every actor has that in them.
Right.
I was just probably lucky to have found this genre, this character in Farzi. And also, there's another show that I did, Rudra, where I played a completely different, really crazy woman.
Right.
So it's fun. There are more layers to it. Of course, in OTT, that an actor can sort of work on their craft more in a long format, is what I feel.
Right.
So yeah, definitely it's a no-brainer when it came to Raj DK, because I was just like, yes, I'm in. Just tell
Right.
me what character it is,
Right.
I'm in.
Right. Where did Farzi come from? Where did this idea come from?
Yeah, no, I mean, a few years ago, like, I mean, this concept was actually, we had a story script idea for a feature film a few years ago, almost like 8 years ago. And so that was the, genesis for this series.
Okay.
The idea was to make a movie about counterfeiting, like the world of counterfeiting. But there was two parts to it. One is the world of counterfeiting, like the large scale stuff that happens. And there's also this one character who becomes a counterfeiter also. And in this big world of counterfeiting, there are bad guys, good guys. There's a law enforcement person, which is played by Vijay Sethupathi. So these were the pillars of the show and of the film. And then, for whatever reason, I think in hindsight, it looks like maybe we had too much content. And the film would have been too long.
Right.
So it's actually a blessing in disguise that it never got to be made into a film.
Right.
Because now we get to delve deeper into it, say a lot more about it, and get into the characters of all the people in the show. And so, I mean, that's the result of it, is a
Right.
series now.
Right. To you, is it a big decision? Something that was going to be a film now you have to make a long form of that. Is that tough, like to adapt it into a series?
Usually, I wouldn't recommend. When people ask us a lot, when we do some master classes or whatever we learn, we tell, or
Correct.
whatever, maybe vice versa, we learn from them. But I always say not to convert a feature film into a series, because that's not how a series is made.
Right.
You are basically stretching it. Now by the time third episode, it becomes a rubber band now. It's going to break any second. So it's not a great idea to do it. That's not how The Family Man was made. But we are a feature filmmakers to start with. Every idea, we're trying to put it in a feature first. So that's the instinct.
Instinct, yeah.
And so The Family Man was also, we tried to put it into a feature box, because when somebody asked, we said, it's a great idea, but oh my God, how do I fit it? So that was a struggle then. It was fitting, and we're cutting so much that the backstories were getting eroded, our characters were being dropped, subplots were taken away. So, but we did not know that there was another option. That there was another way of telling the story. That's a series format, the long format.
Right.
So when that came to us, we knew this was it. We actually wanted to make this first, in a way. Like in one of the stories, that as soon as we knew that Amazon was coming in, we said, like, you know what? We should just drop our feature, and whatever feature we're working on, get on the series. We also had The Family Man at that point. We had two ideas in a way, but that was a little more developed at that point in terms of series. But anyway, that's the answer to your question.
Right. Shahid, to you, what's the biggest advantage of a long format from an actor's point of view when you're doing episodes? And
Well, for me, firstly, I have never done long format.
Yeah.
So after having worked for quite a few years, to do something which you've never done before is very exciting. It's scary, it's exciting, it's challenging, and that gets you, like, you wake up, you're like, okay, I've never done this before. I loved what they did in Family Man 1 and 2.
Yeah.
So I was like, man, Manoj sir was so amazing.
Yeah.
What if I mess this up? It'll be all on me. People will be like, yeah, they were fine, they knew what the hell they were doing, they just cast the wrong guy. He can't handle this, you know. But eventually, it allows you to dig deeper into a character. Like, there's some films where, like maybe Kamine or Heather, where I felt like if I had more scenes, I would be able to give the audience more of these characters. Maybe there was still more left to be said, and now I'll never get another chance to do that, because that's over and done and gone. So this can be more fulfilling as an actor, So and I felt that when I did the show. And now that you know that in case people like the first one, there could be a second one, it's like so exciting, because you feel like there is so much you can bring to it, And so the opportunity is a much larger opportunity in terms of what you bring, as an actor and in a character, what you can do. Just as how it is a wider opportunity for them to tell a bigger story. Same way, yeah.
So to you as well, this is such a natural actor, instinct that I hope I don't mess it up. Do all actors get this feeling? Do you ever get this?
No, I'm not confident at all.
Okay.
So we just try to figure it out that how to do it.
Right.
We have interaction with our directors. So we may have an idea. They may have a different idea. It's like a picture. You have a picture in your mind and they have a picture in their mind. So by discussing, we get something and we present it, and they come and correct you. No, this one I don't want this one. I want this one. So maybe in a 1 week time or 3-4 days, we get to know each other better.
Right.
So that's how it happens.
Fair
So
enough.
I never get a confident.
And in both the cases with Shahid and also with Vijay,
Yeah.
there is a character we have, there is a story we have,
Yeah.
but more we discuss with them based on what they are saying, how they are reacting, their thoughts and plans. The character also starts evolving.
Right.
I think, and it's way more important in a series format for that to happen, because they have to live the series for live that character for a very long time. So the actors are very, very important. How they feel about the character and how their inputs into the character become very valuable. And so that's how we also it changed. Like we were going in this direction, but once we talk to the actors, the character starts going in and becoming more evolved.
Right. There's so much interest. What kind of a cop is he? We'll be very close to the release by the time this comes out. What kind of a people have enjoyed all your roles? What kind of a cop is he this time? Will he break bones? Will he?
Maybe he break brains.
He's not in uniform. So that is why I use the word law enforcement.
Law enforcement and not cop.
Police.
Sorry.
It's like a task force.
Right.
Yeah. He's on emotional guy.
Okay.
So emotions can break him very easily. So he handling Farzi, but he's not fuzzy.
He's not fuzzy.
He's not fuzzy.
Right.
Also, do you also think that sometimes you say something mean or become mean because once in a while if you feel like you'll get
it's like something I mean say to test them
right
whether they are the same or they'll change. So
right.
So he's the one who enjoys his work. Same way he hates his work also.
Okay.
Same. He's both are mutual for him.
Right. For your character, I see she's a very confident woman. Again, we are close to the release. You should tell us a little more.
So Megha is somebody who again works in the task force.
Okay.
With, Sethupathi sir, and someone who's extremely relentless and idealistic. And I think from a normal woman's perspective, she would really relate to this character. Everything that a girl has to face in a man's world, because it's still a man's world.
Right.
Every problem that she has to face, every climb that she has to take, and all the challenges that she has to face, a lot of women will actually relate and root for this character. Right. She's also grey. I mean, I don't see her as black and white again. And she is somebody who wants to get what she wants to get. She wants to be where she wants to be. Right. And then there's this personal angle where she's constantly being badgered by the mother saying, oh, you have to get married and your AID's coming. So all the problems a young modern woman would face, you will see through Megha.
Right, nice. Shahid, every director's set is so different from one another. What is, this may help other actors who are watching, who may work with them in the future. What is Raj and DK's set like?
I don't know if it's the same on every show that they do, So I think maybe they would be the right people to comment on how.
Is it different from the directors you have worked with in the past?
Yeah, of course. I've always worked with one, there's two. So right there's a difference.
Right.
I think every filmmaker is unique in their own way, and they have a very, like he said, you don't feel like you're working with two different minds. I felt like I'm working with two different minds that are in sync.
Right.
I felt like they are connected, but they both bring their own personalities onto the table, and I think that kind of completes it more.
Right.
Because two people can always be better than one. I think if you're a good team, you will always be better than an individual. But if you're a bad team, then it's a mess.
Right.
So I actually don't know how they are on other sets, but on this set, I felt like they gave me a lot of freedom. Even sometimes when they were biting their nails, wondering, "Ye kya kar raha hai?" but they still let me do it.
Right.
And I felt that the people that they had taken, they are very passionate about the people they work with. I think the writers that they work with, Sita, Suman, are both amazing. And I think they spend a lot of time in writing the material that they write.
Right.
So, and I think as an actor, that's what you want. You want somebody to give you something substantial, and then hopefully you will build on it.
Right.
And they do all their research. They work very hard. You can see there's a lot of work that's gone into it. But once they come on set, they're still very democratic about it. They allow you to bring something on the table which might not exactly be what they had thought. And I think that's like a great combination, because sometimes people are very clear about what they want because they've done a lot of work. Sometimes people are very open because they're open to spontaneity. But they have both those things.
Right.
So I really loved that about them.